Welcome guys to another interesting time with Fuse on Budded, brought to you by a friend and personal. This is where we share with you everything happening across the globe. I like to put it that way. Anyways, my name is Madichi, and of course I'm not here in the building alone.
My name is Gabrielle.
Now, why does it always sound weird? Gab, you know you sound weird. You dance weird. Everything you do weird.
See, there's something in life. Let me teach you something. I'm gonna be very generous this new year.
What?
I'm gonna be giving lessons to people. Anybody that finds themselves, to be finding me amazing. I'll just give you some of my secrets. The secret is be weird. Be weird. It's okay. It's okay to be different.
Guys, you need to see Gabby. You need to see Gabby dancing. No.
I don't understand.
Should I show them now?
Show them the dance. Yeah, man. What's that? I can't do this. I cannot at all.
Anyways,
you guys, welcome to Fuse on Budded, brought to you by Upfront and Personal. You guys can see what's happening. You can see that I'm not the one who started it this time. I think at this point we should go on a break. We'll be right back. Let me deal with this girl.
Everyone deserves luxury. But luxury means different things to everyone. Luxury can mean appreciating the scenery of nature and stepping out to bask in the warmth of sunlight. Sometimes, luxury is savoring the satisfying and huggy taste of Amstel Malta Ultra. Other times, luxury is having enough selfie moments with your bestie. But in the end, real luxury is choosing your way to live. Amstel Malta Ultra. Choose your way to live.
Fuse Unbudded.
So, Gab,
before you say anything,
what?
I just want to say that I forgive you.
Can you imagine?
Let's go on.
Okay, so I have a very, very interesting question, because we see a lot of things happening on social media where, there's a case of a separation between parents, or there's a divorce, and these people have kids and all that. So a case of, okay, should you choose your kids over your spouse, right? And most of the time as women, as mothers, you hear that there's a bond between the child and the mother, especially when she gives birth. The umbilical cord, that's what you call it. You're student, yeah, that's what it's called. So there's that bond. So it's very difficult to separate a mom from her daughter.
From her child.
So it's a situation whereby maybe there's an issue and you have to choose between your spouse and say your child. Do you think that's going to be a very good decision to make? Do you think it's going to be easy?
Honestly, I just want to say that I hope nobody ever gets to that position where they have to make a choice between the two. But if you ask me, I would say for different reasons. I'll say, for example, it's a very good thing to choose your spouse over your children. And the reason why is because you are one with that person. I don't want to, let me give examples, like for instance.
But I feel like you are one until you chop breakfast, because it's all rosy and sweet.
The truth
in relationships and marriages.
Here's the thing. It's just sad that, this is the kind of culture that we have right now. A couple of years back, divorce was not very prevalent as it is right now. So chopping breakfast was just something that happens before the marriage happened. Yeah. So it's like, oh, I'm dating this person broke my heart and moved on. Okay, fine. But when people swear and say to themselves, it's forever. For richer, for poorer,
for better, going to be for better, for worse, do us part. Even though we don't see that.
People were very serious about making those kinds of vows, and a while back, a lot of people were very, serious with sticking with those vows that they had made, but we're not seeing much of that happen these days. And it doesn't mean that we don't have good examples for marriages right now. Personally, I know a lot of people who are having really, really amazing relationships in marriage. So I'm just going to say that you would choose a spouse. Yes, choosing a spouse is
it's actually a very very, very tough decision. But I think I'm going to take my kids. I mean, you can have other husbands, but
you can have other husbands.
Yeah, in case if something happens, if you're in a dilemma, like you have to choose between your spouse and your kids. If I choose my kids are my kids. Like, you can't take it away. Like, every child has an experience in a woman's womb.
In her body, right?
I mean, I don't know if you've seen a woman cry over her kids. You've seen the way women actually hustle just to put food on the table of their kids, and also at times they're not even concerned about their spouse. You hear people say, "Oh, I'm hustling for my kids. I'm looking for a better life for my kids."
Yeah,
and you're wondering, this woman is married, right? There's a husband somewhere. Why is she focused on her kids?
I see what you're saying with all of that, but I will also say, just with what you're saying, it also makes sense because we've seen cases where a married couple split up and then the man has gone a separate way, the woman has gone a separate way. Now that's not something I wish for anyone. That's not something that people want to sit down and think about. What if this happens, right? But in those cases, you see that a lot of times all that the woman has is her children.
Her children, yeah.
It's like these are the people that I've been fighting for all along. Some people that are even in abusive marriages will say that if you ask some women in abusive marriages, will say they're staying because of their kids.
Their kids.
So if the marriage, yes. So it's like I see what you're saying there, but for me, I think I'll just say, you know, the spouse. The spouse is
okay.
You and that spouse, two of you have become one flesh.
Well,
that's what the Bible says, and so that's what I'm sticking with. That's what I'm sticking with.
Yeah, I'll say my kids.
Everyone deserves luxury. But luxury means different things to everyone. Luxury can mean appreciating the scenery of nature and stepping out to bask in the warmth of sunlight. Sometimes, luxury is savoring the satisfying and huggy taste of Amstel Malta Ultra. Other times, luxury is having enough selfie moments with your bestie. But in the end, real luxury is choosing your way to live. Amstel Malta Ultra. Choose your way to live.
Fuse Unpotted.
Moving on.
Okay, so we're moving on to something that's exciting, and this time around, it has to do a lot with growing up in African homes.
Yeah.
You know how when we used to be younger, visitors come into your house and they're like, fine little girl, take this. How much was it? It was usually like 501k.
If you start giving
you money.
No, it depends on the age. Yeah, as a kid, you get like 20 naira, 50
which one can you really remember?
I can only remember the 20, 50 naira.
Are you serious?
100 naira.
Okay, so for me, I think it was. Let me just be more humble and be more realistic. Be more realistic. I mean, because me, I'm like, as a child, to be bigger money now. But then I think when I was younger, it was like 100, 200 to be honest.
Okay.
And then the visitor comes in and say, take little girl, thank you. And then the visitor goes around and then your mom's like, okay, bring it.
Let me keep it for you.
Let me hold it for you.
Let me save it for you.
Yes, let me save it for you. And later you go back and you're like, mommy, what about this money? And your mom is like, the food you have been eating. What about the food you have been eating? What about the school fees we're paying for you? And then the money's gone. Just like that. So I just want to ask you basically, when a parent takes money from a child, and refuses to give it back in cases like this, would you say that it's manipulation?
Refuses to give it back. I feel like in this is actually the case of the child not being able to ask. Because I don't know, have you ever collected money? Have your mommy ever collected money from you and you're now thinking, how should I collect it back? Should I? Most times I think I just dash it out. I don't.
You give it back to your mom. Your mom doesn't take it, right?
Except she really says, okay, take your money. But I don't know how. It's not easy for me to say, okay, mommy, give me my money back. I've never even been in that situation. She hardly borrows from me, so yeah.
So the money that the visitors used to give you,
the visitors,
that's particular gift money.
We never saw that money. We never saw it.
Okay, so
or most times when it comes to Christmas, New Year period, they tell you that okay, I use the money to buy you Christmas clothes, which we know is a lie.
Okay, so when your mom ever did that, did you ever feel bad?
I can't remember because I was a kid. I can't really remember how I reacted then. But looking at it now and thinking about it now, it's like, I wish I did something more serious.
Okay, so for me, I think it was a little bit different, And the reason why we're talking about some of these things is because we're still in the festive period, kind of. It's still the beginning of the year. We still have people remembering families and, stopping by to say, oh, my niece, my distant nephew, how are you?
You're much older
now.
You are
big now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're much older now, but we're reminiscing on what it used to be like in our childhood. Because we still have, young children now these days, that have uncles and aunties visiting. I don't have any uncle or auntie visiting me anymore. I just have to put that out there. Maybe I'm the auntie right now for other people. But the truth is, in those days, you now have a young person who's saying that, oh, my uncle or my auntie is coming, and your uncle or auntie comes over and then they drop a gift for you. So we're just basically asking, how is it now with the kids these days? Do your parents still take the money from you?
Yeah.
How does it feel when they do that? So for me, when I was younger, I feel like it never really felt bad because when my mom takes the money from me, she's like, she gives you something else, and because you're a child, you'll be happy. Well. You say, okay, so you won't be like, but that 200 you didn't give it to me. She will buy you Christmas clothes at Christmas.
There's always
she'll give you something in return, and then you just be happy and forget all your sorrows. Basically. So yeah, so we're gonna go on a short break. We still have so much to talk about. We're remembering some of the things that used to happen to us when we were young children, and especially during the festive periods when we had families coming over. We'll get into more of this stuff when we come back from the break. Don't go anywhere.
Everyone deserves luxury. But luxury means different things to everyone. luxury can mean appreciating the scenery of nature and stepping out to bask in the warmth of sunlight. Sometimes, luxury is savoring the satisfying and huggy taste of Amstel Malta Ultra. Other times, luxury is having enough selfie moments with your bestie. But in the end, real luxury is choosing your way to live. Amstel Malta Ultra. Choose your way to live.
Views Unpotted.
Marichi, you know you've always heard this saying, don't be caught sleeping on a bicycle and all of that. And I used to think that it was just a saying, something people just say. But I think I've seen it, real life actually happen. Very recently there was a video that, was going around where a man who's a dispatch rider was stopped at one of the traffic light points. And then he was waiting for the traffic light to turn from red to green. But by the time the traffic light turned from red to green and people were moving, this man was sleeping. Like you could tell that this man had been on the road for a long time. You could tell that he was exhausted, and it just goes to show you how in this kind of country that we're in, how a lot of people are putting in a lot of work to put food on their tables, especially people who are doing some form of menial jobs. And we know when we're talking about menial jobs that are not white collar jobs or blue collar jobs. I think we're referring to blue collar jobs now. I'm talking about jobs that are not white collar jobs, where people are not sitting on that air conditioner, offering services to people, all these kind of jobs that it feels like they're conditions around them are not very conducive. As for me, I just want to say, this is me giving a big shout out to everyone who is doing work, legal work that is not illegal, because these days we're seeing a lot of illegal forms of making money come out, and people are embracing it more often. But for people who are hustling, doing legal forms of work, we want to say a big shout out to you at this start of the year, and well done for everything you've done for yourself and for your family in the previous year.
Yeah, like you said, when it comes to hard work, a lot of people attribute it to certain professions. Like if you're a lawyer, you're a banker, you're someone who comes home 10 p.m. the night, means that you're working hard. But like you said, there are some jobs that people don't even actually see as jobs. For instance, even as menial as being a bus conductor, a driver, I mean, people who actually carry things on the road, and at the end of the day, they're not collecting like a large amount of money.
And that's the point. That's the point. And in an economy like this,
the bricklayers, for instance, the welders, people who actually do jobs that you don't even consider as real jobs. It's actually a lot, and it's so unfortunate that people actually. I don't mind that. So I'm wondering, what did people say? Well, did they just see him and pass?
No, people were sympathizing when they saw that video.
But it didn't seem like anybody was sympathizing with him, because he was there all alone, and somebody was actually taking that video.
That's the truth. That's another. So why didn't somebody walk up to him and wake him up and say, "Oh, the traffic light is moved. You can move"? It was
actually risky.
Yeah, these people are risking their lives. That's another thing. So I just want to say it's very important for companies who are hiring people, that are offering services like this, to do more in caring for their,
but
safety
how
and
much
all
do you
of
think
that.
they can do? Because I mean, this was just a guy who was actually going to deliver, say, goods, for instance, and he stopped by to sleep because he was tired. The company is not even aware that he's actually doing that on the road. So I don't think it has to do with like the company.
It could also maybe too much. It may have to do with the company because of workload, for instance. Maybe this guy has driven for so many hours, the day before, and they're not even running shifts.
Which I feel like it's okay to take a break, but doing it at that spot.
My point is,
would you say he slept off?
Madishi, this man didn't do it intentionally. You can obviously tell.
He slept
this was
off?
A traffic light point. He fell asleep.
Wow.
Because he was exhausted. So that goes to, I was just basically saying, shout out to all of you who are doing legit hustle, regardless of what kind of job that it is.
A job is a job,
job is a job. We celebrate you. Thank you for all that you do, especially when it comes to services like this. If dispatch riders are not there, then who's going to be moving packages from one point to another? Remember in COVID, dispatch riders were one of the most sought after forms of work, because people were getting medication moved from one point to another, and a lot of people needed it during that time. We want to say that we see you, and we want to say that we appreciate you, but whatever work that you do, make sure that you keep safe out there. And also we want to put it out there that it's very important, because we all want a better Nigeria.
Guys.
We want a better Nigeria where when you hustle, you see the money that comes in, then you know that, this is going to be enough for me to put food on the table. This is the time where we're saying to you guys, elections are just around the corner. Very important that you get your PVC if you've not already done so that you can exercise exercise your civil
and vote
rights.
for the right person, guys.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right,
That's
guys.
it.
That's much we can take today on Fuse Unbothered. Don't forget to join the conversation on any of our social media platforms. You can follow us on Instagram at Fuse Local, on YouTube at The Fuse. Catch me on _Madichi on all social media platforms.
You find me on Instagram. The name is Gabby.Gabby on Instagram, and that is GABBI.GABBY.
All right, guys. Until next time,
stay fused.
Upfront and personal, world-class business, world-class consultants.